What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're gonna be focused on our 2015 Mustang that we bought from the salvage auction with some serious frame damage on the left side. It does have an oil pan that is busted, so we got a new one and we're gonna be replacing it today. But I just wanna address some of the comments you guys have been leaving. Thank you for all the comments. I love reading them. I love replying to some of them. So go ahead and keep those coming. But a lot of you guys are asking what we're actually gonna be putting on the old Mustang. We are going to be putting every single part that we possibly can from this car on there, like all the wiring harnesses we're going to put on there. I also want to try to get the ABS on there, the brake booster, and the big brakes that this thing has, because it does have the performance pack brakes, because this is the 50th anniversary Mustang, which is pretty cool because they only made 1,964 of these cars, which is pretty awesome. I didn't even know it was a 50th anniversary until it came to the shop. But now let's go ahead and get this car on the lift and we'll swap out the oil pan. So we got the car moved into the lift area. Now we're gonna go ahead and remove this door right here, just so whenever we get the oil pan off, we can get inside and start the car up. Got the door off. Surprisingly, the wires don't look like they're ripped, so we can probably use that on our other Mustang. Set this aside. Now that we got the door off, we can go ahead and just sit right here and flintstone this car inside on the lift. So we got the car pushed in here, and I'm not really too sure where to put these lift arms, but I guess we can just put them right here under the frame. Well, what's left of the frame. Just try to stick it somewhere over here that's gonna be safe. Oh yeah, that'll work. And over here, we're just gonna put it back on the factory pinch weld. I think that should work. It's not gonna slip off or anything. We might go ahead and throw some straps on there too, just to be safe. So we got all the lift points secure on the Mustang. Let's go ahead and lift this thing up. Hopefully it doesn't fall off and cause some more damage, because then we'll have to put this thing back on the auction. Alright guys, so we got the Mustang nice and secure in the air. Now let's go ahead and do a little walk around underneath what we have here. I did notice that the subframe is a little bent right here, but the good thing is these subframes are pretty cheap, and oh man, we just found some rust right here. Time to chop this bad boy in half. But now let's go ahead and move on to the suspension. We have some pretty good suspension components over here. As you can see, the tie rod isn't bent, and that's usually the first thing that bends on the suspension, but everything looks pretty solid. And check that out, we actually have an airbag suspension right there in the front and the rear. That's gonna be really awesome. We're gonna put that on the 66 Mustang. Now let's keep moving back. We also noticed that the subframe is bent back here, but most of the other components look like they're good, like the steering looks good, nothing's broken over there, and we are using everything from this car. And the motor mounts on the engine are actually broken. That's why the oil pan is busted right here. The entire motor shifted forward, and I guess it punctured it right there. But the motor is looking good. As you guys seen in the last video, it is not broken. All the mounts are on, so that's a pretty good thing. And also, if we come to the back, the transmission also, we got really lucky with the transmission. As you can see, this mount is just completely broken off from the car, but it does bolt on right here, so that is awesome. And it doesn't look like it's broken anywhere else by the drive shaft. And the cool thing is this car has a two-piece drive shaft, and that's what kind of caused it to bend, kind of like a banana, so it didn't break the transmission or the differential in the back. But man, just check this out right here. Look at this damage. I'm literally standing right where the driver sits. Like, this is right where you would sit. That is just insane. Oh my goodness. But let's go ahead and keep moving to the back of the car. We do have a good fuel tank back here. We might use this fuel tank, or we might just get a fuel cell, but it's just good to have. And the rear subframe doesn't look too bad either. All of the control arms look nice and straight. The rear differential also isn't broken. As you can see on these mounts right here, everything is nice and solid. So that's awesome. That just saves us time and money. And we also have a airbag suspension in the back. We do have one broken sway bar link in the back, but that's all right. There's nothing too major in here. This control arm right here might be bent, but we won't know until we get this thing on the alignment. Well, until we get that car on the alignment machine. But we might just get a new one and compare them and see how it is. And also, if we come to the back, we have Ford Racing factory exhaust, but it is kind of bent up. I think only this side is good. This side is completely crushed. It has a bunch of damage up there. But now let's go ahead and lower this car down and get this motor out. So we got the car lowered down, and we're gonna start off by just removing most of the front end, make sure there's nothing in the belts. So let's go ahead and get everything off the front end. Alright guys, so we got everything off in the front, and check out how bad this car is twisted. If you look at the left frame rail is completely pushed down, this frame rail is pushed like this, and everything looks like it shifted back. If you see right here, everything is crunched up. That is just insane. But now let's go ahead and we're gonna remove the subframe so we can get to the oil pan. So let's go ahead and get these wheels off. So we did get the wheel off, and check out these giant brakes. These are going on our 66 Mustang because we are going to need some serious stopping power, because I'm planning on either doing twin turbo or supercharger. Go ahead and drop some comments down below so we can go ahead and start searching for some parts, because this build is going pretty quick. Now let's go ahead and get these brake lines off and the ABS line off. We don't want to rip anything because we are using everything. So we got this entire side all disconnected. Let's go do the other side. We got both brake lines disconnected on both sides and the ABS sensor, and we also went ahead and took off the air lines from the airbag system. Now we need to go ahead and take off the front subframe. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jack up the motor in the back. I was thinking about securing it over here, but that's not gonna work out. So we're actually gonna jack the motor up in the back, drop the subframe down, and replace the oil pan. You know? So the steering is all disconnected, and we went ahead and unscrewed both struts. Now we're gonna slide this jack under here and lower the subframe down after we unbolt it. sensor up, it should roll out. So we got the subframe out of there, and we just supported the engine with a jack right there, but we probably will run a nice strap that goes all the way along to the shock towers right here. Just gonna go under there to hold it, and we're about to start replacing the oil pan, but check this out. We got the suspension over here by the 66 Mustang, and man, it almost lines up. It is a little bit too wide, so either we'll do some adjusting on the arms right here, on the control arms, or we'll do a nice little wide body on the car. So now let's go ahead and get the oil pan replaced on the Mustang. So here's the oil pan right here. We actually bought this thing from the dealer, and it was actually really cheap. It was like $70. I was actually surprised. Let's go ahead and check out what we got here. There we go, 5.0 oil pan. And it actually came with this oil sensor, which is pretty cool. I guess it's built into it. So let's go ahead and get this thing on the car. So we got the old oil pan off, and check that out. There's where it took a pretty good impact right there. But here's the new one right here. Hopefully it's the same. And it looks exactly the same, so let's go ahead and get this thing on. Pan nice and secure on the car. Now let's go ahead and fill this thing up with some oil and see if this thing will start. We are using just this cheap O'Reilly's oil. Didn't really feel like spending a lot of money on a motor that could be bad, but we're only gonna run it for about 10 seconds. So then if it's good, we'll drain it out and put some good oil in there. In the car now, it's time to go ahead and start it. It's the moment of truth, fingers crossed. Hopefully this bad boy starts up. Go. Oh, it's making some kind of noise. Let's go ahead and see. Oh, forgot to put the oil cap back on. Let's see what happens. Got the hazard still on. I don't know my voice from the bottom. Heck yeah, now let's go ahead and shut it off because there's no coolant at all. So now that we know the motor runs, we're gonna go ahead and start taking it out. I'm not too sure on the transmission, but it goes through every gear. There's no jamming or lagging on that. So let's go ahead and get this motor right here out. It should be pretty simple because we got almost everything off. All we need to do is disconnect the manifolds and the drive shafts, and it should just slip right out. Alright guys, that's going to be a wrap for today's video. We got a lot of work done on this Mustang. We pulled the motor out and the transmission. It was pretty tough because everything was jammed up in there. But if you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and stay tuned for a lot more videos. And make sure you follow me on Instagram at vTuned.